I'm Xander.
And I'm Courtney Kraft.
And this is Super Anime Smackdown!
This is our opportunity to share with you some of our favorite anime titles and meet the voices and the artists that bring them to life.
This week, we have a very special battle of the magical girls, Sailor Moon versus Madoka.
Both of these shows have enormous fan followings, and we thought it would be interesting to see what would happen if we pit these two magical girls against each other in a fight.
Now, of course, every good battle needs a referee, and we have just the person to do it.
Sarah Williams!
Whoa, wait, hold it. Sarah Williams, the voice of Sayaka Miki from Madoka? How is that fair?
Yeah, but she said that Sailor Moon is one of her favorite anime. She's a huge fan.
All right, I accept Sarah Williams as our judge. And you can also see Sarah doing voices in League of Legends as Jinx and Skullgirls as Peacock.
We're so glad to have you, Sarah. Thanks for coming.
Now then, I will be debating on behalf of Sailor Moon.
And I'll be debating on behalf of Madoka. Now, Super Anime Smackdown's a debate show, but we're not just going to leave it up to your imaginations.
Oh no, we have wrangled two very fine cosplayers to demonstrate some of the moves of these characters.
It's gonna be amazing. And remember, if you're a cosplayer in the LA area, stick around for the email address at the end of the show, and we can get you in the studio to participate yourself. Now, let's get this magical girl fight started.
All right, everyone. Sailor Moon. The classic, one of the most widely known animes in all of the world. Sailor Moon is about 14-year-old Usagi who discovers that she is the reincarnation of a princess from the moon. Not only that, she has superpowers and she is destined to be a guardian of the earth. She and her friends take on these roles of superheroes, one representing each of the planet. And of course, aliens from all throughout the galaxy have been coming to Earth trying to steal people's energies, trying to steal their dreams, trying to steal their souls, and it's up to Sailor Moon and her friends to guard the Earth from evil.
Puella Magi Madoka Magica follows middle school girls who deal with the perils of being magical girls in middle school. They're approached by Kyubey to sign a contract which will grant them any wish that they want in exchange for magical powers to fight evil beings known as witches.
Sailor Moon. It is a classic. She is like the Batman of anime. Everyone knows who she is and everyone looks up to her. Sailor Moon is a character. Some people view her as really weak. She's a crybaby and she eats too much and she is a little whiny. But Sailor Moon goes through this huge journey over 200 episodes to grow and to become a woman. And we learn over time that she really is one of the strongest characters because of her pure heart. She is willing to sacrifice herself to save friends. She's willing to sacrifice herself to save enemies. She is a true role model, which is why she will defeat Madoka.
People would also argue that Madoka is also one of the weaker girls when it comes to her team. However, she takes a long time to develop her fighting spirit and to develop her powers. But when she does, she has the power of a god. Even Kyubey says in the beginning of the series that her potential has never been seen before. The team that is assembled for these magical girls, they don't wiggle around and make some sparks come out. They train their abilities. They start off at a beginner level and you can see an improvement. With Sailor Moon, she just spins around a bit and suddenly the monster is destroyed. However, with the girls that live in the Madoka universe, everything is real. They train. They make sure that their abilities are top-notch. Madoka witnesses one of her good friends get decapitated. This is real. The stakes are high. And if she's in a fight, she's in it to win it. She's trained herself to be the best warrior that the Earth has to offer.
Well, Sailor Moon is in it to win it too. All of the scouts are, because every time Sailor Moon is in some kind of epic battle, it is to save the world. Sometimes to save the entire frickin' galaxy. So don't say that Sailor Moon, oh, it's not a big deal. She shoots beams of light at people. Yeah, she does. And she destroys monsters, and she's been doing it a hell of a lot longer than Madoka has.
Well, she's just old.
Technically, Madoka and Sailor Moon are about the same age.
Yeah. Madoka has to sacrifice something of themselves. They give up their souls, they put it into a soul gem, and they can't get too far away from it or it will damage them. We also find out later that the more despair that they feel, the darker their soul gem, and they become witches. You talked about the Sailor Scouts sacrificing themselves for Sailor Moon, but one of Madoka's favorite people and her best friends, Homura Akemi, has the ability to turn time back. She does this on multiple occasions to either avoid Madoka's death, avoid her turning into a witch, or whatever the awful scenario happens at the end of the series. This constant turning the time back focuses many alternate universes around Madoka. This gives her that potential energy. She has so many alternate universes that focus just around her. There's so much untapped power there.
Sounds like an attention whore to me. Just saying.
How dare you?
All right, guys, we're going to take a short break from our debate right now to talk with our special guest judge, Sarah Williams, who you guys might know as Sayaka Miki from Madoka. Thank you so much for joining us, Sarah.
No problem.
Yeah, so you have the distinct honor of being the English voice actress for Sayaka in Madoka. What was that experience like?
I was just surprised. I remember going into audition and thinking, you know, like, oh man, this is a big show, right? This is the new big thing this year. And I was like, well, it's cool to at least audition. That was awesome, you know. I like that I get to do that. And then suddenly, like, you have role. I'm like, I have role? I have role!
Yay!
And I was just like, I still didn't quite know what impact it was going to make, but then I actually, you know, homework time, I went and watched it. I was like, oh my God, this is going to be big.
Yeah.
No wonder this show is getting so much. It's like, this is going to be big. Oh man, I'm a part of this.
Even before the English release, right? It had a huge following.
It was sort of that feeling like when I first watched way back when Full Metal Alchemist. And, you know, like just 3 episodes in, it was a show that was like, this is going to be a really big show. And you could tell that with Madoka too. It was like, this is going to be a big thing.
Now, did that make you nervous going into that role, knowing what kind of impact this could have?
Not that. It was how good Eri Kitamoto was as the Japanese voice of Sayaka. I was like, oh my God, she's a beast in the booth. She's amazing. Like, she's so good. I was like, oh man, I hope I can live up to that.
Because it's kind of, she has that tomboy feel, but also girly, because she's falling in love with someone. Like, what was the balance that you struck between those two?
I don't know about balance. The way I thought about it, it was just like, Sayaka was just, she's very, very similar to me when I was that age. It was just like, I was like, that's me, which made certain parts a little depressing, but you know, it was sort of just like, it's like, I know this character because I was sort of that way as a child. I know this person.
Nice. Well, not just Madoka, but you also have connections with Sailor Moon, which is the other anime that we're talking today.
Oh my gosh, do I?
I mean, who doesn't really, who loves anime?
No, that was my gateway anime. That was the one I ran home for after school when I was in 2nd grade to come home and see Sailor Moon and just being like, I don't know what this is. This is different than everything else I've ever seen cartoon-wise, and I love it.
So sticking with the color theme, did you relate to Sailor Mercury or like the badass like Sailor Jupiter?
I never had a favorite.
What?
I liked them all, but if I was, well, actually no, I really liked Sailor Saturn.
Oh,
and even
okay.
before I knew Sailor Saturn was a thing, because again, this is hi, I'm slightly older than most of you might be, but this was back before internet really became a thing. Like literally, I didn't get internet until like after that initial run. So, you know, I didn't even know there was a Sailor Saturn or any of the Outer Scouts, but I loved the idea of there being a Sailor Saturn because I was like, Sailor Saturn, that should be a character. And like making it up, and I'm like, oh, there actually is one. She's cool too.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a disappointment.
No, it was very cool. It's like, oh, she's way cooler than I imagined her. That's amazing.
I feel like you have kind of Sailor Saturn hair.
Oh.
Yeah, I was noticing that too. I'm like, you could do a Sailor Saturn cosplay.
Yeah.
No.
Come on, that glaive.
I can't do cosplay. That's
So where can people find you online?
best place to find me online right now is just my Twitter. Like, at this point, I don't have a public page for Facebook. My Facebook page is for my friends and family, but I will be making one at one point that a public voice actor Facebook page that more people can join. But for now, Twitter's the best option.
What's your Twitter handle?
It's Sarah and Willie, which is like Willi.
We'll spell it out for
Yeah,
you. Don't worry.
check the
people.
lower third.
It's easy to find. I haven't changed the picture yet. It's just that little picture of Peacock with the little controller on her head playing. I still use that picture.
Nice.
Okay, so Sarah, we ask this of everyone. Do you have any exciting upcoming projects that you can tell us about?
Not specifically. I mean, there's some games coming out on the horizon that I was voicing in. Just can't say what yet. And a new film project that sadly I can also talk about. Though can talk about soon. It will be announced soon.
Nice.
It's coming. So once it does, I'll be able to be like, that was me. So, but yes, there is stuff coming up.
But in the meantime, we're going to head back over to the debate, and we're going to see who wins in Madoka versus Sailor Moon. Now it's time to get into the nitty-gritty of it. Not only does Madoka have the energy swirling around her from all of these alternate universes, she's also a descendant from many archetypical females throughout history, including Cleopatra and Joan of Arc.
Oh, was that it?
Yeah.
Now, I will admit, Sailor Moon can get a little repetitive. It's a lot of spinning around and shooting magical beams at things. But I think what might actually happen in this fight is that Sailor Moon would refuse to fight Madoka. Because Sailor Moon believes in saving everyone, which yes is very ideal. But unless Madoka is really a threat to the Earth, which I highly doubt she is because they're kind of on the same team, Sailor Moon would be like, no, I'm not going to fight you.
Now, if Madoka felt like Sailor Moon was threatening the Earth in some way, or she felt that she was a magical girl that was about to turn into a witch, Madoka would sacrifice nothing to defeat her. And that's where the selflessness of Sailor Moon could be her downfall. Madoka becomes the embodiment of hope. She waits this whole time to make the perfect wish, and she finally makes it come true by sacrificing herself to get rid of all magical girls in all universes for all time before they become witches. But she adds an if-then clause. She has to do it with her own hands. Madoka then becomes more than humanity. She becomes a paradox. She becomes a god. She travels throughout history, eliminating magical girls from everywhere before they become witches. This includes Sailor Moon and the Sailor Scouts in the alternate universe.
You know, Xander, I knew that you were going to make that argument.
Did you?
Yeah, and I actually found something kind of interesting. Madoka isn't the only person who can reset time. Sailor Moon and the Scouts can do it too, as proven by the end of the Nihilenia Revenge arc. Sailor Moon discovers that Nihilenia was so sad and lonely, and that's what corrupted her and turned her evil. So she and all the Scouts get together, they reverse time, and they reset Nihilenia's timeline in order to give her happiness. So, you're not the only one who can make that argument.
Fair point. But Madoka transcends humanity. She becomes hope itself. She is a concept. She is an idea. If driven to that point, there's no longer a physical being to fight anymore. And she is a concept that has the ability to eliminate a magical girl. Therefore, I believe Madoka would win in a fight against Sailor Moon.
You know, Xander, a wise man once said, absolute power corrupts absolutely. Remember Sailor Galaxia, who sealed chaos within herself? She was the most powerful Sailor Scout in the entire galaxy. And that's when she realized that if she's the most powerful being in the galaxy, she should rule it. And if Madoka has any moment of doubt, of hesitation, of greed, she could become completely corrupt and destroy the universe that she's trying so hard to protect.
Yeah, but that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And now it's the time you've all been waiting for. We find out who gets the super trophy
And who has to wear the cone of shame?
Please welcome back our special guest judge, Sarah Williams. All right, Sarah. Thank you. So tell us, what do you think of the debate?
It was a very good debate, all very good points. really, really hard decision to make, to the point that I don't want to be the one to make this decision.
Oh no.
No pressure.
But, shall I make my decision?
Please.
I gotta give it to Madoka.
Yes!
Sorry. I must use your
No, this is so wrong.
Oh, look how well that fits on your head. It's
Shut
like
up,
you've worn
Xander.
it every time.
Suck my silver millennium crystal.
How dare you?
Sorry, I love Sailor Moon so much to death, but in terms of the argument and also what I know of the show, I gotta give it to Madoka. And I think the main point is she's a god. Like he said, she is beyond humanity. She is a concept, and the idea of going back in time, being able to go back in time and stop her, is a good idea. Except that in the show, they state that not only has she become a god and it now is beyond humanity, she also has been erased from humanity. There's no timeline to go back to get at her to, because she doesn't exist anymore.
And that's science.
So you can't, so the Sailor Moon and them would not be able to get at her that way.
You know what, Xander?
What?
I demand a rematch. I'm going to challenge you to debate Madoka again, but I'm going to challenge you with my own god, Haruhi Suzumiya.
All right, challenge accepted. It'll be the battle of the female goddesses.
In the meantime, check out thestream.tv for more Super Anime Smackdown.
And make sure to follow us on Twitter at Super Anime Smack and find us on Facebook at Super Anime Smackdown. Thank you so much to Sarah Williams, and we hope to see you next time. Puella Magi Madoka. Puella Magi Madoka
That is a
Magica.
mouthful. I can't even say it myself.
Puella Magi Madoka Magica. Puella Magi Madoka Magica. Puella Magi Madoka
Monica for short. Now, I should automatically win this debate because Xander has a lot of difficulty pronouncing
Puella
the
Magi
title
Madoka
of his
Magica.
own show.